We all know the story of Macbeth, right? The great hero who becomes a legendary tyrant. But how does that actually happen? How does a mind just fracture like that? Well, we're going to dive deep and pinpoint the exact moment that transformation begins, all inside one incredible scene, where Macbeth, the brand new king, shows us the paranoia that's going to eat him alive.
I mean, think about it. This is this central question. You've done it. You have everything you ever wanted. The crown is literally on your head. So why is your first big move as king not a party, but just pure gut-wrenching fear? It doesn't make any sense. Or does it? That's exactly what we're here to unpack.
So yeah, Macbeth might have the throne, but he definitely does not have peace of mind. Not even close. His victory feels completely empty because he's learning a really tough lesson. Getting power is one thing, but holding on to it, that's a whole different, terrifying ballgame.
And this line is everything. It gets right to the absolute heart of his problem. He's saying, look, being the king means zero, unless I can be a safe king. The title itself is totally worthless if he has to spend every second looking over his shoulder. The fear of losing it all is already way stronger than the joy of having it.
And what's so brilliant is how Shakespeare builds this anxious tone right into the script from the get-go. The words he uses are just dripping with suspicion and insecurity. So we're not just being told Macbeth is paranoid, we can hear it in everything he says. We are listening to his mind turn on itself in real time.
Okay, so what is the source of all this fear? What's he so terrified of? An invading army? A rebellion? Nope, it's his friend. His brother in arms, Banquo, the guy who fought right beside him, is now, in his mind, the single biggest threat to his life and his crown. And this chart really breaks down his deep, deep insecurity. When he looks at Banquo, he sees everything he thinks he isn't. He says Banquo has a royalty of nature, a dauntless temper. He's brave but also wise. And next to all that, Macbeth feels like his own spirit, his genius, is rebuked. It's a fancy way of saying, I feel small and stupid when I'm around him. And for a king, feeling like a lesser man is something you just can't tolerate.
And, of course, you know where this all leads back to, the witches. Let's not forget their prophecies. Macbeth was told he'd be king, and check, that happened. But Banquo, he was told his children would be kings. Now, since Macbeth believes every word these witches say, this isn't just some vague maybe. To him, it's a guarantee. Banquo and his son Fleance are basically a ticking time bomb right in the middle of his court.
But this fear, it actually goes even deeper than just the threat of Banquo. It's about his own legacy, or really, his total lack of one. See, Macbeth has no kids. There's no heir to pass the crown to.
And just, wow, listen to that language. A fruitless crown, a barren scepter. These are supposed to be the ultimate symbols of power, right? But for him, they become symbols of his own infertility, his own emptiness. He feels like a fraud, just a placeholder king who's keeping the throne warm for somebody else's family.
And believe me, this is no accident. Shakespeare is a genius. He's using a technique called a semantic field. He just keeps hitting you with this cluster of related words, fruitless, barren, unlineal, to hammer home this theme of sterility. It's a constant, nagging reminder of Macbeth's deepest fear, that his entire reign, everything he's killed for, is a complete dead end.
And this is the line where all that frustration just boils over into pure, unfiltered rage. He's realizing he has filed his mind, which means he's defiled his conscience, destroyed his soul, he murdered the good King Duncan, all for what? For Banquo's kids? To make them kings? The way he repeats kings at the end there, you can just feel his fury at how unfair it all is.
And that's it. That's the snap. In that moment, he hits the point of no return. All the anxiety, the jealousy, the rage, it finally hardens into a cold, deadly plan. The war inside his head is about to become a very real, very bloody war outside of it. He is done worrying. Now, he's going to act.
And here we see his full descent into tyranny, and it's all through manipulation. It's chilling. Look at how he works these murderers he's hired. First, he blames Banquo for all their problems, says it's Banquo's fault they're poor. Then, and this might sound familiar, he attacks their manhood, basically asking, are you man enough to get revenge? And once they're hooked, he gives the final, cold command. Kill Banquo and kill his son too. The student of manipulation has become the master.
This little line here, it's so simple, but it is so revealing. I require a clearness. What he means is, I need to be seen as totally innocent in this. He wants the murder to happen, but he wants to be completely disconnected from it publicly. It's a huge step in his moral decay. He's now actively building a wall between his public image and his private evil.
And he ends his whole speech with this absolutely incredible, defiant roar. He is basically saying, rather than just sit back and let Banquo's kids become kings, I'm going to challenge fate itself to a fight. Come fate into the list means step into the ring with me, and to the utterance means to the death. He's no longer a pawn of the prophecy. He's decided he's going to fight destiny itself.
So, that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Macbeth, one mortal man, driven by his own paranoia and ambition, has just declared war on fate. He is betting that his own will is more powerful than a supernatural prophecy. So, who do you think wins that fight?